So it's navigating the terrain myself, you know, so I just keep rotating and changing and shifting. I live a detoxification lifestyle. You know, there's 5 detoxification pathways, so optimizing those pathways on a daily, constant basis. And then that way, when I get into a sticky situation or food's not as pure, I can deal with it without going into some kind of head trip. For the most part, I live west side of Los Angeles, which is, I mean, I'm gifted with all natural, organic options everywhere.
Yes, we are.
We're still breathing in those chemtrails. Whatever you want to call it. So it's just utilizing tools. I'm not the only one who has done stuff like that. Even before there was massive amounts of pollution, the Taoists and the yogis were doing all this stuff anyhow.
Of course they were.
You know, snorting cotton up your nose and cleaning out your pipes.
Oh,
physically.
I love Hape, man.
Hape is amazing. Kambo is amazing. Ayahuasca is it's a full body purge.
Yeah.
But it also purges the nervous system, you know, where we hold our beliefs. And that's where the biggest problem is. As a species, we've given up our innate intelligence and we've adopted this whole religion of scientism and intellectualism instead of direct experience and innate intelligence,
Body
intuition.
wisdom.
We've turned off our second brain with all these pesticides and herbicides, our gut instincts, and instead we've implemented brain viruses, mimetic viruses, ideas with values attached to them. You know, milk is good food, sex is, premarital sex is bad for you. All these ideas that may or may not have any frigging relevance. You know, milk is good food if it's raw milk from Jersey cows and pasture raised on grass. I mean, that's the thing, there's so much confusion in our world today about what legitimate real food is all about. So it's just, and I always like to couch this in a positive way. There's no victims, so if there's no victims, then where are we at? So how do you wake up a human? You oppress the shit out of them. It's like the concrete and the shoot of grass coming through the concrete. Shoot of grass is still going to be that shoot of grass, man. It's going to reach for the light, and that's what humanity's doing right now. It's reaching for the light.
Pressure makes the diamond.
Pressure makes the diamond, baby.
Yeah, I've sat in a lot of ceremonies, man. I was in a Santo Daime community in Brazil, in the forest, making ayahuasca for days.
Wow, man, what an experience.
Singing sacred songs.
That's gonna open up the heart and open up the consciousness.
Yeah, man. It was beautiful.
Just help everything all around. You know, these medicines, my gringo shaman mentor in Peru used to say, when things go haywire in the world, as they are today, man goes back to the origins.
Right.
And ayahuasca is the origin. San Pedro is the origin. Iboga is the origin. And these things are blowing up the internet now.
Yeah.
There's so much thirst for this ancient knowledge. And
Yeah.
ayahuasca is being spread like Johnny Appleseed spreading the apples. All over the world, these plants are utilizing human consciousness to spread their own DNA.
Yeah. Well, that's good news.
It's all good news. Otherwise, we're victims. That's a dead-end road. I don't accept that. We are victorious. We are the victory in the light. We always must remember that.
Victory is ours.
That's correct.
That's cool, man.
It's just a dance of light and dark, yin and yang.
But the actual health nut concept, like the brand, when did you birth that?
That was birthed in the Amazon. I had 3 very powerful visions in 2006. One was an amalgamation of my on-camera career. I was doing stand-up comedy and improv at the time, and I'd been studying natural medicine and juicing for about 15 years, and the certified health nut was born in the Amazon. Another one was of my family.
Was it during a ceremony or during a vision, or
it was during
your
a
meditation
ceremony in the Amazon rainforest, ayahuasca? And so I wasn't married, and I had a vision. My daughter came to me, and my family's been unfolding. Certified health nut has been unfolding. And the third very profound vision I had is that humanity makes it from the precipice of ecological disaster, of where we're at right now, trashing the planet. No bad or good. You know, it's not about global warming and climate change. These are economically and politically charged ideologies to play with people's consciousness. How about respect and reverence for the earth and creating systems that are beneficial for the all and to support life that supports life? Air, water, and soil. Why would you shit in your spoon and shove it in your mouth and act like, oh, we're not doing that? Yeah, we are. And what's the health of the human? 70% of the American people are obese or overweight. 1 in 2 cancer rates, prostate cancer rates, through the roof. Childhood obesity, childhood diabetes. Autism's like 1 in 17 now, up from 1 in 10,000. I mean, these are medical anomalies.
And why is that?
Dysfunction, because we as above, so below. We're in symbiotic relationship with the environment. You can't trash the environment, shit in your proverbial spoon and shove it in your mouth and going, no, I'm not doing that. Well, yeah, you are. You're contaminating the air, the water, and the soil. This is the common human heritage. This is what, this is the common denominator for all of humanity. We could disagree on religions and political ideologies, etc., but we must come to terms on that which supports life on Earth, which is air, water, and soil. And so we need to remediate the soil. It's very important. If you don't have the microbes, the humic and fulvic acids, the microbes that make up, that aerate the soil, that break down the soil and make it available for plants to uptake the nutrition, if that's not available, then what you get is you get dead nutrition. Yeah, it's commercially, it looks good, cosmetically it looks good in the store, but it has no nutritional value or low nutritional value. American military did research on that and found that there was, like 60% less magnesium in the fruits and vegetables today than there were back in the 30s. So it's like, this is just all about consciousness. We're only healthy to the degree we're conscious. We're only conscious to the degree we're healthy. And so if we want to be healthy, well, then we have to eat healthy, nutritious food that the body recognizes. If we want to be sick, then do the opposite, the inverse. Feed it chemicals and radical linear inputs the body doesn't recognize in a dynamic system creates chaos. So put dynamic elements into your body, what the body was designed to designed to ingest, not Franken foods, Franken ideas, medical and scientific experiments being played out on humankind. Just look at your results. My mentor always used to tell me, results never lie. So what are our epidemiological statistics? What's plaguing humanity right now? Autoimmune, gut microbiome issues. People aren't thinking. This is your second brain. This is your intuition. This is your internal guidance system. And so, of course, if people are putting legislation forward and allowing to put bomb-making materials into agricultural chemical materials and putting this in the air, the water, and the soil, then of course it's going to have its ramifications. Its results are going to come up inside the human body. As above, so below is the natural law of correspondence. There is no separation. Yeah. So all we have to do is look at the direct correlate, look at our results, look at ourselves. And there's 7.5 billion people on the planet. Whether you agree with me or not, it's time to evolve the systems and make them equitable so other people aren't trashing the planet, right? Equitable systems. Who wants to live in Iraq? Who wants to live in Syria? These are all oil-based situations. Africa's the same thing. Tungsten, oil, crude oil, people that don't want to play around with the petrodollar, the zero-backed currency, you know, based on thin air and fictitious elements like ones and zeros programmed into a computer and printed on paper with no backing of just printing ideas. And so this has its end game eventually. And this is what's about to collapse. These ideas are collapsing in on it. And so I like to postulate, hey, it's ride or die. It's evolve or perish. We're at the precipice of ecological disaster. I worked in the Amazon for 8 years, you know, doing herbal medicine and researching plants, and I saw the destruction coming down the tributaries, coming down the river, going into the city centers and the cities in the Amazon and Iquitos, mountains full of sawdust of rainforest trees. That's what produces our oxygen. And that whole ecosystem produces a large percentage of the natural water on the earth. And so if we're trashing the thing that recycles our garbage, you know, what's the effect on the GDP? That's going to crash the whole economy. It's going to crash all the systems. The systems are stressed right now. So it's just time to revamp the systems, reclaim our power, come to terms on our common human denominator, air, water, and soil, speak up for what's natural, make yourself strong by feeding your body natural elements, moving your body in a certain way, breathing deeper, yogic principles, Taoist principles, how to take care of the human machinery. It's basic technology that we've it's been subjugated again for scientism, religion, political ideologies, you know, for media propaganda ideas, you know, so-called scientific discoveries, which are no more than economic agendas from corporations. You know, chemicals are good for business.
Sounds overwhelming.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. So just get back to basics. Get back to nature in all of its facets as much as you can and connect with your brothers and sisters instead of splitting hairs on stupid stuff like divisive issues. Black, white, red, yellow, Republican, Democrat. These are all divide and conquer elements. How do you conquer a people? Divide and conquer. And they've already done that by changing up the economy. So the divide and conquer element is happening right at the dinner table. Most people don't realize that Gloria Steinem worked with the CIA. So the whole feminist thing, burn your bra, you know, let men make their own food. Well, who are the nurturers? The female component of the family were natural nurturers. And now they're entering into the workforce. Why? Because the CIA wanted to help the elite and the bankers help two people pay taxes so they could get more wealth, so they could control the people more. So who's watching the food now? And I'm not blaming women or anything. We're all responsible. But the fact of the matter, who's watching the food and what's happened to the food since '97? GMO is a complete, you know, human experiment. We are the long-term feeding experiment. And so how's that playing out? Well, people are sick right now. Wherever they're growing GMO foods, the Americans, 70% of the Americans are overweight. And so, yeah, it's overwhelming. Good. It's time to wake up. It's time to reclaim our power.
So if Rome wasn't built in a day, and this is a massive undertaking, right? This is a monster, right? Hercules and the or what was it? The with the slingshot, is it in it's a massive undertaking, right?
But time's speeding up and technology's helping that. What happened 10 years ago when Steve Jobs brought in a handheld computer? Now technology is exponentiating everything. We can do the same thing in a blink of an eye. So if 100 years of nonsense has been propagated and propagandized through the media since Edward Bernays took his uncle Sigmund Freud's all his information on how to manipulate human consciousness with all the psychological Freudian technology. So Edward Bernays was the inventor of public relations, PR. If he can do that, and this is the subsequent action in the last 100 years in the industrial age, and we've trashed the planet, well, imagine what we can do now that we've got computer technology and social media. We can now get the messages out, put life affirmative messages through the pipeline, and shift human consciousness. Who doesn't want clean air, water, and soil. Who doesn't want free energy and getting off fossil fuels and getting off the fake petrodollar and free ourselves up? Who doesn't want true freedom? Or maybe you have Stockholm Syndrome and you want to say that, oh, you know, our oppressors, that's the way it's always going to be. Things won't change. Well, speak that into existence. I'm the Wright brothers. I want to fly like an eagle. I'm going to speak into existence that I'm going to fly a plane whether you think I'm crazy or not. I'm going to create clean air, water, and soil and shift consciousness on this planet, or usher in the elevation of consciousness or evolution, whatever you want to call it. It's not about me tooting my own horn, but I'm going to call it forth. I'm going to literally speak it into existence to anyone who will listen. Gift economy, self-care education, permaculture, food is free. Free energy. Nikola Tesla already invented it. The technology, cold fusion, zero-point technology, Tesla technology, it's already in the consciousness of man. We just have to keep pulling it forward until it's manifest completely in the flesh. And so whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So it's just time to reclaim our power instead of pussyfooting around and playing the victim and being like, oh, you know, this is just the way it is and that's the way it's always going to be. Hogwash. Human innovation has always changed, you know, everything that we've done. And it's just time to evolve.
What specific action can I take right now?
Watch videos on Nikola Tesla. Understand that this technology has already existed. Watch the videos from John Harrison up in Canada, who already worked with cold fusion. Watch Dr. Judy Wood, who explains everything that happened with 9/11, and look at the potential of what's happening. Understand permaculture, organic farming. Read the work of Rudolf Steiner in the Waldorf school system and what he did with biodynamic farming. Educate yourself. Put organic food into your body. Do my 10-day cleanse. Clean out your system. Get your mind clear and think who's thinking your own thoughts. Unplug yourself from the TV and the mainstream media and ask yourself, where do my thoughts come from? You know, get jiggy with yourself. Get down with yourself. Figure out who you are and why I have my beliefs and ideologies and what I'm saying is triggering you right now. That's the apex of the mental blocks that you have just as a human being. The emotional triggers that you have, that's where you're blocked, because anything is possible and we are creating it right here, right now. Why? Just as simply as I say, because I say so. Abracadabra, my word is my wand. Whatever you speak into existence, the vibration permeates the water. We're 70% water, and it creates the existence. So when we understand this, we can rise up to the next level, but you can't do that if you're bogged down, you're eating the man's food, and you're complaining about the 1% dictating everything. Yeah, the systems are a little fucked up right now, and people have created certain systems that keep everything entrenched. Reclaim your power. First of all, put inputs that are natural into the body and clear the body out. Move the body properly. Hydration, nutrition, breathing, thoughts. Reprogram your mind. Use hypnosis, Vipassana meditations, ayahuasca. Clean out the junk. Clean out the ideologies that you have in your mind and refresh and reboot the system. You know, there's many tools out there. You've got to move the body properly every day. We've become domesticated, sedentary people, you know, orthopedic calamities, sitting at desks and on our cell phones, addicted to these slot machines, these dopamine and serotonin, you know, activators by, you know, our likes and comments on social media. Rise above that. No, recognize it for what it is and rise above it. You know, be the victor, not the victim.
Does this stuff anger you?
I'm just passionate. Well, does what anger me? The fact that
That was your best rant yet, right there.
Does what anger me? The fact that
Just the state of affairs?
Edit that one and post it.
Just anger. I'm just passionate about evolving. This is the big cosmic joke, as it says in the Vedic scriptures. This is just God playing God. This is just God sleeping on God. God forgetting that it took a sheet of acid. Oh wow, oh, I'm waking up. Oh, I forgot that. Right? This is just a experiment, a human experiment, a spiritual experiment. Otherwise, we play the victim. That's just a dead end road.
Keep walking. Looks good. What got
Where's
you?
our exit? Right here.
I think it's this way. What got you to be so passionate about this? I mean, did it just happen overnight, or?
Well, I had three very profound awakenings. One was I had my own shortcomings. anger, alcoholism, and dealing with that. And that brought me to Vipassana meditation, which was one of my first big awakenings. Then I started concurrently working with Maori healers from New Zealand, and they specialize in trauma that gets stored in the body. And I had a big awakening with them, and then I started working in the Amazon, researching plants. The herbs from the Amazon woke my consciousness up to another level. And then I started drinking ayahuasca with the shaman down there and had another level of healing. And so those three things were powerful activators. And then becoming an effective communicator in the world. I'm a trained actor, I did stand-up comedy. But when YouTube opened up, I had a platform to get a message out to more people. And I studied business, and I studied really just being able to express my passions and elevating human consciousness and transforming the world that way. And that's been kind of my spiritual path, along with the challenges of becoming a parent and a husband and being in a relationship and living in the world and not playing the victim. So always coming back to being my best, as best as I can be, and I fall on my face just like everybody else.
What do you think your biggest mistakes have been?
There are no mistakes. There are no ultimate mistakes. Yes, we live in a dualistic paradox, the yin and the yang, the bad and the good. But the bad's going to bring you to the realization just as much as the good. And trying to hunt down the good, you're going to be rectified with a dose of bad. So just stay on your path, stay aware, stay conscious. It's the only thing that I can do myself. And, lead by example and just keep being honest with myself. Emergent, present moment reality is my current religion. So, if I get high on my own supply, if I'm being an angry dick, if I'm not being the best parent or, partner with the mother of my children, then I gotta look in the mirror and take responsibility for myself. Take responsibility for myself and be honest with myself. Be honest with myself in the moment. Because that's all we can do. The big trap is to get high on your own supply and think that your shit doesn't stink or it smells like roses, or my biggest fear is bullshitting myself. So, and I don't claim to have all the answers, but I got some pretty good ideas, and I'm definitely very interested in moving the culture forward, moving the species forward, evolving.
What strategy has been the most effective for executing this vision of yours, moving the species forward?
Creating good media and content, playing agent provocateur. Many people, they want to put me in a box. They want to say, oh, I'm an environmentalist, or I see the potential that someone like Donald Trump could disrupt, the existing systems. I could be wrong with that. Just really, staying conscious in present moment reality we all got sucked into thinking that Obama, the black man, we've arrived, we've evolved our culture because this guy comes in but he dropped more bombs than anyone in presidential history. He started more wars than Bush, and then we get this cognitive dissonance in this confirmation bias, like he's the greatest thing that happened to our culture. Well, we get caught up in, again, these are ideas. And so the only thing you can do is be honest, take stock, and keep coming back. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. So we've got to create equitable systems. What are equitable systems? Well, we can't have our whole economy based on dropping bombs on people in Syria, Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, Darfur, getting tungsten out of mines in Africa. You know, the list goes on. We've got to create sustainable systems that work for all human beings. What is the waste that gets created in oil exploration in the Amazon? What is the waste that gets created in the military-industrial complex going into the Middle East? You know, what does this create? What does this do to the earth? Well, it trashes the planet. Who wants a one-way ticket to Syria? Anyways, did I segue off?
No, you're good. So if someone wants to learn more information, follow you, get more information, kind of follow this conversation, what should they do? What should they look into?
You know, there's some good people to follow. There's Paul Chek. He's a great guy to follow. My work, I've made, you know, hundreds of videos on this subject. And really, again, it's all about as above, so below. You know, how do I expect the world to change if I don't change myself? And so, really taking care of this ecosystem. It's what Gandhi said: become the change that you wish to see in the world. So you've got to change your own vibration, find peace in your heart, find clarity in your bloodstream, clarity in your mind. You know, clean the body and the mind up. You know, purify the body. And then you're innately going to know what to do, what the next steps are. But the first step is become healthy. There's no leading by example if you're doing, you know, let's say your monetary situation is good in business, so you're good in business, but you're pumping things that are antithetical to life itself down those business pipelines, those commercial pipelines. So you're good at business, but you're part of the problem. So flip that script around. Become good at business and put life affirmative principles down there and elevate your brothers and sisters. Elevate the human consciousness. Let's pull everyone up at the same point. That's why free energy is a big catalyst that's gonna cut us loose. The gift economy, Ubuntu movement. Check those two out.
And the health night.
Certified, baby.